mercy. My Jesus, you are so good. Oh, yes. Thank you. I just want to say thank you, Wow, this is a great performance. Woman can amen and share nyame animuonyam. Spirit divine, yedamwase, yedamwase. Keda invite you almost so many celebrated this community guest day. Na minu ye say almost so I nyame animuonyam. Sabre bestre na baby I will be a ya sorry agina Abraham invited Pastor Loas, Michael. Now our bonfire 2 years share nyamensa. Mejidi ye say yenya a good rest. Ya enjoy your lunch and so. Na mesa can be say binti unko share or health vitals no, especially seniors no. Nurses for no doctor on site. One why ready say on bebo enti akwama ho. Woman sorry bra so followers ebe to a reage medin ashe ewradensa amaye. Ya spread be breedy and so minim see ebe fail it. Timo am wo akire motimi abani mu kakra amaye.
Adofo ma hombrase mu ma ye mompaye. Onyame a wotumi so yeda wase. Wone yaresafo yaba wanim firi anopa bedru pempensuyi. Wama ye honhom ayaresa. Onamudi a yedru suyi edi anim wo mu. Ma ye nkunimdie ne yenhye wudin ani onyam. Enimsa adesua yi nkwawie ye no no ama ye nyina ya ye nhira. Yaba wa wodi adesua ye nim yetu ne hye wonsa. Ba wonsa ka no nimdie ne nyansa afiri wo. Ye obeka no enye ne a ebeboa yen ama yetumidi aye adwuma na edi ayaresa nhira ani nkunimdie abrɛ yen. Otayenti a ye adwumadie yi Awurade ma ye nuru ho na wieye no ye de nase ani ka bia ma wo. Yeda wase wo nhira wo de agu yen so awie yi wo Yesu din mu. Amen.
Yeda osofo ase. Nuanom onyame waye ya dumpa se akwanhwefo. Mo amo online ni nyina nso ye mama kwaba se mo join ye wo sa dwumadie mu. Awie wo ye dwumadie titire wa ye community guest day. Ye pese ye de apom dine ho adesua etoa so. Besre se enko a wontie mfa link no a ye wo no te se YouTube no send ma obi. Ye be kasrade ene akoma a etimi jai anytime emma warning utie bi kura ho ensemo esisisi na esoso enso senya me bebo ye ho ban ma ye nkote bi atise mu no ene ye nkyerɛkyerɛ atise yi na wiei emenije me dia hoho akese se me ame ba ana ye wo fase edna kusiapia obedi saa adwumadie mu. Edna ye researcher or you be a oye nhwehwemu o kire de wo supon aye o chese mi hu se de mi sinka no o nipa nyame adom no na oye ye ba you be work ye through enema ebe boy me se bre kura no o mai mo mpae na me mfa ne hye Awurade nsa wo jesu o de mai na nyame ebredu se wafena ebedi anim ini si nchen na wa be kyerɛkyerɛ wo Yesu din mu. Amen.
Happy Sabbath. Happy Sabbath. And now this year me say nyame ahoden se ye beka no yankasa ye kasa mu. Na se emfa ye a na ye de kasa kwano so ye den atwa so anasa brofo kasa na atwa so me da nyame ase wakonya kese a oma ye ho kwan se ena wia nso so me ne me maame nom me papa nom me ofa nom me nsewa nom me nananom me nuanom emme ye adesua bi sei enti me sema mama ya so embraha no edi enti na ehia se yesua about you be a friend say cholesterol. Any heart function. Why is it necessary? I didn't need here say suya ebi amubati cholesterol. Any heart health. I didn't hear pa. You know, I hope so young people who are sitting here because we are seeing younger patients dying of late in their 30s, in their 40s, and young penifon kopona so moyario, ayan crano. Ayan me yase most of them now muhiano, crano omuni hanamo. But I hope so better no. Ubetimi dia ye futu dia ma de obet de woni hanom no. Mpam cho. Enti ye ka say cholesterol cry eye adie ben eno no. Adie na ye friend cholesterol say when you go to a family doctor or nurse practitioner, these two people in Canada, the same job. So uko show mo no mo ka say ebia Mr. Smith, Mr. Watson, Mr. Odro, Mrs. Odro, Mrs. Watson, o cholesterol ekosra or patching a dien common or person oni wudie. What does it mean to you? It's me person yet see us here when we talk about cholesterol. Cholesterol, yes, sebi. I'm being a bit cautious, because may use the word sadie and kwa. But a type of fat. Oh, fat are you good for our body? I want to make it clear. Fat are you good for our body? However, an imbalance then it can become a problem. You know, it's no. It serves a purpose. Into cholesterol, yadia what other functions? Say your hormones like estrogen. A buoyant with those productivity. Into about go through menopausal stages, have a different complications. Oh, friend, when it comes to cholesterol, a mema testosterone, adia almost no it's me a woman sebi a mema no. It gives them that functionality, the deep voice. Those other functions that make them muscular. Those other things that makes them manly. By definition of biological definition of manly, then it gives us those purpose. It's no idea a boy with different kinds of things. Oh, you need to dream. Na cholesterol you will move me no. If we be say LDL, and if we say HDL, so you hear we say low density lipoprotein, and I say a high density lipoprotein. They are both cholesterols, but one is a good one and the other one is not so good. The good one is the HDL. And it helps, keeps us in a place a buama ya pomudino ekoso. Now LDL no, and your friend of the bad cholesterol, because too much of it no. It poses a certain kind of risk for us. And of course, in your form, would say, "Dan bakumu, na bakusuba ye papa, bakusuba so the enya kra." Into bakuno so or ye not me the kata bakuno so. Into the besuya, see the benya more of the good cholesterol of the HDL to cover up the LDL. Near to me aye, the empa ye pomuso to me tumpo, and me twaso. And nunti ye can say. Cholesterol adentin ehia bebre ana meka no obesima kwara no se bi ubesi so na onoma be koye wo brabo mu no you need to have these estrogens so ubechima uni pedwe besisi so ne sanu nyina you need the cholesterol to be able to help us na se be the same thing goes for the men, but cholesterol hu hia because say that particular nwana o edan ho na mesi ni suban ye fe no LDL no. It's me cause a lot of problems for the pediano. Now, a quite bad na ye faswa sa particular family of cholesterol we say no a bigger problem my yen and no who asem na yebesuya ene. It matters because most of the problems we face now is because of this. It's nehu here. I'm so sorry, the thing is not really working well, like the classroom. Okay. And the answer na yebeka cholesterol wasem no. I was sitting peduana say. And no, my friend said sebi in the classroom with my students, make sure more about the cellular level. Say, oh no, you can't be say sebi you nim say yakopon na boy yen ye de nyamesomfo. We understand it. But when it comes to scientists, they be say cellular level. And everything that we do now goes back into the cells, how we are made up, and how some of these things function. And it's cholesterol and kasano. A yadia bia esan say I no sadie no. And to me, and nane to say be am fans my first shegu nsuom no etimi nane won nsuom no. So what is sa utwa akokɔ no na fan say oh why yellow really na tell ho no. Let's use that. That's adipose tissue. And you said number yemfa enonya an example say that build up of that adipose no. And no is quite similar to the ABA cholesterol will ebe look like say a cost of dose when the LDL no is too much than the HDL. And no sebi entimi and nane e woni pedwani musa. Oh, enti no say a cost cells nimuna so the ho ka me fan say the skin cells are net ne ho tare. And no tare akomana na aka ho no mo. And the ho tare adwene nimu na the arteries in the brain na net ne ho aka ho no mo. Baby now they will find themselves with a phospholipid, it will bind itself to it. And no a very, very important, right? Because the more it builds up, the more now the pediano is unable to excrete into me ni enfrimu. They make an patriatia sekakra. And no importance because everything works in the cell. Now the main person who say he wants us to always be peaceful, even within the cells, or perceive be a balance. Okay, everything has to be of balance. And so that's the reason why it's important for us to understand the cellular role of the cholesterol. When is too much of it, it begins to bind onto the phospholipids and it can't. Won't me excrete, won't me any free anymore. And so you can watch them. And these, I think that the PowerPoint is a bit all right. It reacts with proteins, it reacts with membrane by signaling conduction and and also transmission of information. LDL no, its main thing is say when it's too much now, it just ultimately or giant who go be to say your friend will say an artery. Artery to 75 say a pipe in your body. We have different maybe it is a pipe as in free mobile. So in our body, we have the heart. But the heart gets fed by these pipes. These pipes in front of artery. Me use the word, me use analogy. It's in these pipes, no, and sanity. Now, LDL, why no some methane? My friends will be a war abe. Now, as a wusi abeni wiena, open so sonnes now, some methane to me, as Sonia Bena. It's needed to me passive, no, to me can't a So the cholesterol almost, the LDL cholesterol, no, it acts like that, and methane, I say, into me. And free even but so it binds onto these membranes of the arteries. Okay? And when there's too much of it now, after a many I shall say think something is wrong. It's not I shall say inflammation, I shall say no. Oh, no my say and otherwise the build-up of it becomes what we call atherosclerosis. And so pipe now boosts your free mono. Imagine say pipe no. Ubians when I never who, but say, sir, I said, no, make one some and I said, this cholesterol, no, a building up now. It limits the flow. Me fan say, was say 100 mils. Anna, it's me sunny free pipe no banana. You may end up getting about 50 mils. Are we all in understanding? Or it could be 60, or it could be 70, because there's now a limited pathway. I quite say, maybe as soon as me and famu, they also famu yeno. In some manner, a problem. Now, cholesterol, no, it can be a contributing factor in heart disease. Actually, as a matter of fact, it's one of the major factors in heart disease. Now, you can't plague formation, particularly with LDL. This plaque, na kwesa sad na wakoto akoko no before ni so no na edwen se enkwan ya eden de sadna mu ginani enkwan no ya tum se anwa ginani tum se kwan de efe obi kwati mi ka se kwan efe mi kwa maka mi pen efe pa na tum se woni gi ho wo hwe kwa na kwan do aha. That's how we grew up. Oh, it was so nice. They say no you say sa sadnam na na de enkwan na be gi enkwan ni no se emboye bako enti no wo de yi free ho. And no sa plug no is like that sadnam on the chicken that you see, and is right in the arteries of your heart. It could be in the arteries of your brain, and that's anywhere there is. Our bodies is made of cells, and I'm not mentioning about cells no. Into cells, that means that this cholesterol, no me deposit anywhere. It could be my eyes, it could be my skin, it could be my joints, it could be baby. I just said cells will be so outside the naturally your body, so when you like a common cold, your body knows say there's something that is wrong here. Your body would begin to react. And no, it will suppress your immune system because of certain kinds of immune responses. The same thing happens with the cholesterol. When this cholesterol triggers the body needs to say, "Bibi koso." So an inflammatory response is initiated. Then it begins to build the plaques. No, sadnam begins to build up in your body because your body thinks it has to react to whatever it's saying. Okay. Over time, the plaques na quite a pipe na make one some no. Ashisha no home was side by side, front by front, and because of this, I harden the walls of the arteries because it's like flexibility. So fast straw, me bend it anyhow I want. I like. It's so beautiful. The first straw na se me drinker, it flows beautifully because of sudden pressure. The same thing now with this cholesterol. Now specifically the pipes of the heart, the arteries, Then, and also the veins as well, because you can have peripheral vascular disease. Then the body begins to think, say, the pressure is too much, so you don't have enough flow. So if you need 100% to make your heart functional, you're thinking now maybe about reduced percentage of flow. It could be 70, it could be 60, it could be whatever. But whatever is going on, your body is going to react later on, not immediately. Hence the silent killer. Come on. As is on red zone, and you have no idea. No, they've been going through this for a long time. Because most of these, you don't have any symptoms. Majority of people don't have any symptoms. In some person, so what shit? You can't pipes, you make an artery now. You see, it's an the far left one. There's beautiful blood cells. Also, a flow, come out. Pipe na make us say I partially blocked no. And then the cholesterol blocked artery. So sasa nam na walk akoko no ho no. Once I didn't want the pipes no more. I didn't want you. And so there's that narrowing of the flow that is happening. Okay? And so just for you to have an idea, when this happens, you can also excite thrombosis, like clotting in the body can happen, and these blocked arteries can lead to heart attacks and strokes easily within seconds. Every 5 minutes, a woman is dying here in this country right now as I'm talking to you. Every 5 minutes, somebody's having a heart attack. Every 2 to 3, every 2 to 5 minutes, a male is having a heart attack. And every hour, as we're speaking right now, somebody's having a stroke. This is not a joke. If you see the number of immigrants with strokes, young people, 38, 40, 25, it is really, really disheartening. Just say, ahumete, papa, ahumete. Okay, so heart attacks, DNA heart attacks. I'm going to go into detail with that later on, but cholesterol can lead to heart attacks, and that's what we call myocardial infarctions. And I said, like, basically a huge change the dynamic of somebody's health. How often do people have heart attacks in this country? This is Canadian statistics. By the age of 20, see how younger the age is getting? 10 years ago, we wouldn't even see this number, right? By the age of 20, approximately more than 500,000 Canadians are having heart attacks. It's scary. This is not 500,000. This is not 200 or 500 or 5. I said 578,000. That's almost more than 500,000 people dying all the time. Men are more likely to be diagnosed with a heart attack. And they seem to also get those kinds of complication. Sometimes, if you do, and I say, yeah, if you do about 10 years, way before us, no babenya sa problem we say with heart attacks no. And member no in term. I think that it could be the nature of how stressful their lives are too. With the assumption of the responsibility, right? We come to the women as well. Mortality rates. So what is the OB? I have a heart attack. They have 4.6 more times. They are more likely. When we say the word likely, it doesn't mean say sebi omubewu. Ye nyamesum for. In CHD we say we have to use the spirit of discernment. These numbers are there, and I know, but I pray to God so we will never be one of those numbers. Okay. It's 4.6 times more likely to die. That would never be us, but unfortunately, some people will experience this. Okay? And heart disease is the second leading cause of death in this country, apart from cancer, which is number one. So keep that in mind. And to risk factors, me changing risk factors a little bit because I think that most of the way now, yende nyamia se say yakwan for amen. Sebi nyamin chenche odi ama ye nti no esan se sebi yemfa akono de nkan ya no se ensa. Sebi yenum cigarette. Sebi. And most of the time, by the way, the temperance teaching of the church, by the way, vegetarianism, I don't want to talk about it here. It's not the most optimal way out. We talk about moderation of everything, okay? That's scientific when it comes to health. But because the way we eat now and the way we've come to know temperance now, I believe that that's why we're so ahead of the game. And naturally, krano, young kasa yamamresa Ghana for no, ye journey no se sebi impreduasa, anka yes stick it to the way na sebi yema menum ne nananom eche journey dien dia, anka utimi se yapomudino, anka eye the best. My grandmother died, my papa mame owu at the age of 112. Right? 112. Right? It's no like this longevity, right? My dad has had a stroke and it's been 10 years and he's still alive. So I think that there was certain coins of way that you didn't know. So food is medicine. I want you to keep that in mind. Okay? But lifestyle, you can high fat diet. I think that it's more towards perhaps certain kinds of meals. You do if you also you're very protein dense eaters. When I talk to my peers, that's how I describe our meals. It's a lot of meat. We love meat, and meat is good. Meat is great. If only we can cook it properly. Say, I know you better do. I can't want some. It's me take it too much time. And I used to know. I say, sebi. Don't say if you na sebi me free. I used to walk from South Central to go to Minnesota in Quadaso as a young girl. And so even walking back and forth was a huge physical activity. But because of the sedimentary lifestyle, ebia sebi bibia driving or taking the bus. And I say if you're not sebi, it can be a very lonely lifestyle. What happened to the community that we're building as people? When you don't go out, you sit there. Watching TV can be very nice and exciting. But that time spent of the 6 hours, and so these things, it really influences the way in which when you sit that long, when the field is preoccupied with so much, and instead of using trans fats, we use a lot of these kinds of ebia and webia and later on. So many things. But I'm not here to preach to you how to change the way you eat. No, I don't believe in that as a clinician provider. I believe in teaching how we maximize how we're eating, but making it better for ourselves. Okay? And when they like it, they love it. But we have to be better at that. Very careful. The other one, so all of these lifestyle increasing. I think the major thing for us immigrants is stress. There is a particular organ called the adrenal gland, and this gland secretes what we call cortisol. This cortisol in itself work in collaboration when it comes to otherwise cholesterol levels going up. Because eventually, cholesterol has an impact also on the hormones like cortisol. I talk about estrogen and then your testosterone. Your problem as immigrants, I think, is the nature of the shock of the stress of the assimilation of the country. Is playing a major role for us. Because we almost share now. What to me who say, or can this history nature will be on point, like A+. But then it's like what you're saying on paper now with their blood work is so dumbfounding, you don't know where it's coming from. But I think, we don't talk about mental health enough. There's a lot of people going through a lot of stress. And sometimes some of these stress needs to be how, and yet the burden that you've assumed on yourself as an individual, that perhaps you're not meeting those expectations. Sebi, at the age of 15, I was sending money back home to feed and look after kids going to school when I was here. So you begin that at an early age like that, you can imagine. Nothing wrong with that. But we have to have a balance. You have to have a balance. And I think stress is playing a major role for a lot of people who have high cholesterol issues. For a lot of people dealing with high blood pressure, I think it's a major problem. There's also families that have what we call familial high cholesterol. Familial high cholesterol. These plays a lot of genetic factors. These families, these patients, they don't necessarily have anything particularly wrong. The way no did know, but I am not. As I said, me will be into no no naturally no be, and I say be crana. Most of the stuff no I know maternal lineage and sometimes paternal lineage as well. Into no be our mobile papa will be. It increases those risks. Into be all no because of those no like my friends say in producer the South East Asians they are very high risk of having high cholesterol. Very, very high risk, and the indigenous as well. But it doesn't mean that every person you're going to see from that background is going to have that. It just means that they have a higher risk. It doesn't mean say we label them stereotypically. Now, not make about cholesterol. No. Some of the way so people cholesterol, but don't say cholesterol. And yet yarea uti be pie no ka say be me ti pie me, and that's but the late symptoms I would describe will be things like angina. Obi hono mo oti hono mo smakuma eyemeya. Mekukoso eyemeya. Angina patches say blood flow that we talking about the pipes no. There's still that percentage of flow. We talk about 100% now being reduced to maybe 70 or 80. And there's not enough oxygen to your tissues. So whenever pain, by the way, it's a sign of your body communicating to you. Don't overlook it. You've been having this pain 2 hours ago. By the time they came to us, 5 hours later, they're already having a TIA. They've stroked. But sebi, time is everything in the body. But sebi open and redra a bit wow. And so we shouldn't be ashamed when our bodies are going through difficulty. Because and angina, that's one of the subtle symptoms of perhaps, you better go get yourself checked out. See a doctor, but they should do some blood work with your cholesterol as well. Okay? With the deposits, nana make us know. These cholesterol, no. So I see this a lot back home. Obi hono mo anani no snani no. Ase adie yellow. Ase sadna mankasa sebi utimu sebi. Is deposited. I wouldn't need say. Oh, those are telling you say you have high cholesterol. Unless otherwise, ebi obi or what the birthmark. And so don't go diagnosing people. Say, hey, my maintenance of cholesterol ebi. I say ye good nani. Oh, your joints. You see that woman there with the joints? I deposited right into the tendons at the joint areas. And she's got joint deformity because of this high cholesterol deposit. Is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? And then on the skin, but I say rash be a goo. It's not a rash. It's a sadna mankasa. Also, but on your skin, it's no for no, and look like yellow, but it's gonna look like I said. You see those hard plaques on the skin, no? Someone who they make sure no. And I think so no. Any say only pay there is a gray ring that comes or more above many so. And we are normal. But a young person, I'll be cornea. You see that cornea there? You see a ring of gray on it? You should get yourself checked out as well. Okay? But it's a very, very normal phenomenon for the elderly. So coronary artery disease. What does that mean? Once again, I talk about the angina. It will come with shortness of breath and feeling tired. Cholesterol plays a huge role in this. So be mindful. Peripheral vascular disease. So cholesterol no so angina hu gu woni padua mu na se e wo namu wonsamu o se me poso ha ye me yo me namu ye me yo. One thing, claudication, nantia, you feel this pain. And then when you stop, the pain goes away. Get yourself checked. It's not always arthritis. Sometimes it could be because your body is dealing with something else. Because especially when we're giving you medications, a bit me up woman, but you are swollen from nurse, so your body is not responding. So peripheral vascular disease is one thing. So keep those in mind. Stroke, a huge number one cause. We're seeing this way more in the younger people. And stroke can come in different kinds of things. Me hunam ye memory. I say, me hunam numbness. Cry say, bibi juju on. I say bibi ati bibi ati. And that's on me kasa ye. Nenusu as on who was menusu emetete. I say me who de papa bi. Obi honomwa. They don't have these classic signs, but they could be having a stroke. Okay. And then aneurysm. Aneurysm, no, it's like it's like it's like a ball game. At least with stroke, we can do something. But with aneurysm, as I saw a blue balloon, and then you put so much pressure on the balloon, and boom, it just pops. So it depends on where the aneurysm is happening. If it's like an aortic aneurysm, it's happening behind the back of the heart with aorta, the biggest pipe in the body, you're doomed. Right? So it depends on where the aneurysm is occurring. But unfortunately, the plaques can play also a huge role. And most of these stuff is so asymptomatic. That means you may not necessarily experience any symptoms at all. So I like to provide culturally sensitive teaching. And cholesterol and black people. What does it mean? I think in the beginning, Mikabibi say, a lot of studies have shown say we have what we call, say, a slightly lower cholesterol levels. And see, problem, not that much. I think it's because the way we eat. I talk about how immigration has impacted on your physiology. Most of you have a lot of these problems. Sebi, a lot. Most of you, you'd have been way happier, way younger body, and less stress. It's a go life. It's a drive-through life. If you don't stop yourself, your body will stop you. Your body will stop you. And so, most of the literature tells us, say, cholesterol were lower levels. Black men, it was slightly higher level of the bad cholesterol LDL than their counterparts, Caucasian men. And black individuals, most of us, we tend to have the good cholesterol in our bodies. And I think we have some pretty good idea why. We talk about and the way we eat. Bad. But the best. The best. So heart disease risk. So just so you know, despite the fact that we have the lowest level of cholesterol among most of the population compared to Caucasian or the Asians, or other population, and almost so your main problem is pressure, high blood pressure, hypertension. Naturally, and not in a class for today. We naturally have what we call salt-sensitive cells. It's not for today. I'll talk about that at the time when I'm given another opportunity, but that's not for today. There's a reason why we tend to have the high blood pressure. It's not always about dietary. Okay? It's the way our buildup is also made. But we have that problem naturally as black folks. And sebi diabetes, right? You can't diabetes and yet a there is interruption a situation regulation, but the actual problem is your insulin coming from your pancreas. So we can talk about some of these things. And then sebi, you know, I'm very, very sensitive when it comes to obesity, because you see, in North America, no, you can't say snipa kasiye now. I was here very, very careful. It's on say sebi baby you free banner dear. Majority of the people, because black people, we have builder big bones and we have denser muscles. If you put me on the scale right now, you'll be shocked how much I weigh. I'm being very honest with you. To the point that my physician, my family doctor is also she's my colleague I work with. The moment I get on the scale, she goes, Adigna, it's just a number. Don't even look at it. Right? Because I may look lean, but I'm not that lean on the scale. And see, I don't, you know, because I tell them that if we bring this obesity diagnosis to Africa, then everybody's going to be clinically obese. So we need to develop better clinician tools to manage our people, ourselves. Because body mass index is not really a good indicator of somebody's well-being. There's a lot of young people who are very skinny, having heart attacks, people. There's a lot of skinny people having strokes. So I want to be very, very cautious about this, you know, and to know. With this, I would like to know about Kasiano, what the person's baseline has been growing up. How have they been trending on the growth curve? If I know how they trend, then based on that, perhaps when they come to see you now, based on the increase you may see, you may have a better conversation. Because I have patients that may weigh 200 pounds and they're the most healthiest individual. And then the 100-pounder is got like high cholesterol, high blood pressure, everything. I'm so shocked by this work. So I want us to be very, very mindful, because a lot of young people, I don't want to talk about this today either, eating disorders is going around. Body dysmorphism is going around. We're not going to talk about that. Everybody want to be thin, but thinness is not a cure to your well-being. So we'll talk about that. I want you to embrace the body that which you're in. You're beautiful, but let's talk about ways to manage your beauty. Okay? All right. Now, social determinants of health, that would mean that sebi in previousa onyame di yaba asasi so say yen free yen fie embra ha se mebobra na so no e ya adwen say de etia na etie che say yen pese e besesan ya adwen on pese obekọ ne doctor ho akọ check up che say, why are you here? Let me ask you, why are you here? Somebody called me yesterday and they just had a stroke and they're at Comfort Hospital. Just $500 treatment. They can't even have money to go home to be discharged. And you're sitting here, you don't even want to go to get your health checked. I want to ask you, why did you come? Because a problem. You're killing yourselves. But yes, still, you're giving a lot of comfort to other people. But are you thinking about your children? Your grandchildren? They would like to see you. And so, Mr. Mwanidimu say, you can bring from a physical checkup that you don't have to pay anything for, and you're paying that through your taxes, your hard work taxes that you go work on the factory line, and in all the other places that you have raised us to become this people that we are today, Mr. Mwamunko. And you so almost limited access. This is what is killing us. We don't go for checkup. By the time they come, they are almost through stage, I should say. Sometimes it's untreatable. And that's it's just really managing symptoms. But we want to talk about preventative medicine. The best medicine is not treating patients with pills over and over. It's about talking about how to prevent them from getting the disease processes. That's what medicine should be like. Are we all in understanding? Excellent. So I had you imagine say, Sebi. That she said, yeah, sometimes I bufu crying says being a black young girl. I almost say higher poverty. And here I am now, so meaning say yentina. Oh, just say, I think we can talk about poverty of our lack of ability to access resources. But as you know, nyamia dumti no. You know your boy home modern, yeah? Yeah. So be mindful. Okay, I'm gonna continue. Ain't no me person me di bibi kakra ema ye di ho komo. Say ye Ye call your sabia and I say you call is Oduya for? Yes, please. Yeah, Oduya for bit me antiness and I say a doctor. Ebia. Some corner say on the mudim komwa. Some ideas. Let's look at the age variation numbers here. And so between the ages of 18 to 39, or cholesterol level, we're hoping that it will be always less than the 4. So 2.51, right, will be ideally most of young adults. Yes, please, that they should also number 2.51. The middle age, like myself, going up to 59, right? So from 40 and up should be 3.02, theoretically. Okay? With the LDL levels. Now, we want to target these levels because I know they're on what's your fear, too high. And then the ages 60 to 79, it should be 2.80. As you see, because naturally, the body is not even functioning properly. The body is functioning with decreased capacity. I take it back. With decreased capacity as we are aging. Naturally, we'll be prone to some of these cholesterol issues and plaques formation because the pumping system, imagine so what pump ya, well, I drive a car for so long. There will be a reduction in the velocity of the energy flow, but Nipajuano is still thriving. He said, nurses and doctors. So I have this patient that you're going to manage. It's a 52-year-old black man, and he comes into your clinic with an LDL of levels of 4.2. So remember, you share slide with and you say a correct number. You're saying 3.02. Okay. So near 4.2 and also high blood pressure. As a matter of fact, by classification, it looks like a stage 2 to stage 3. High blood pressure, 150 over 95. So number ben and what say good blood pressure. We'll come back to that. Usually 120 to 80, right? Basic. But OBI is so different. So what is and no is the general average number, but it's not everybody else's baseline. OB baseline could be a little bit like 125 over 70. It could be 128, right? But anything 130, we should start having conversations. Okay. And then, after instance, also our family history of a heart disease. And patient. Any thoughts? Manage this patient? I like to teach, when I teach in school, I like interactive class. I don't like to give verbal diarrhea. There's no way of teaching. It's no, right now, you guys, when I'm going to share my idea, no, Pacho, Mumbo make a cry.
So, Ubebisa no, a lifestyle, a beboa. Now I should say be a active and I say a passive and I say be a sedentary lifestyle. And to me, when I made the best start, there may be some that's it.
Excellent. Into a physical activity at the prescription per week, an hour and a half. It's not too much, is it? An hour and a half, and you is good enough, like Mommy said, to be physically active. An hour and a half. Mommy said we about the history, detailed history. What is your physical activity routine? Mommy, what else did you say? Okay. This patient or your patient, so it's not my patient, it's your patient. How are you going to manage this patient?
Me dear, me de toto me ho. Ebra me call Dr. Sapon Kra. And Dr. Kita Kofi. Dr. Kotoye. Or diagnose me no. And no say me cholesterol high. And I'm so boy. No, I say, hey. I said, then how do? No, I'm saying, me. I said, don't challenge me. I'm say, yes. And no cover diagram by. And no say me marking near media. And I'm marking near media. And did you okay? No, me the patient about me was I said, dear, now dear. Because now me ko Bible study baby. Obi I'm 27 years wawu. Mama bi ti ho, utim se na ne afipa say, I wonder what they eat. And doctor no yeah, kind na obi say am say dey na me di. I'm saying you are okay, can I mean, the diagram never me mark here. Reduce this, reduce that. No name. Olive. I am vegetarian. But talk conco, me hona made. A good salad so. And sunflower. You see, no. Make potato chips na them say sunflower. And a masandi sesame seed. Me dia me mayonnaise. Enti avocado so. Ti me chere no say we no e ma wo cholesterol ko high. And I'm saying here you can am so me nyini. And I say don't worry. No, yeah me blood work. The blood work no e buy no. Na e was no say ni we for some time. Na me je ni nyina boy na me de matoton de me di wie ye de. Enti e free ho no man ko to bie wa for some time man ni bio. And ya me san kwa no Dr. Sapon was afia where do you know man dey na wajaye because Kitakoff was yes na no akoto ye and I'm say o kan say o ha na I'm doctor nkasa mre ho say akoto avocado she me num $1 media na medi na we nti megai me sakwa fine nti ade na wodi nti aye wu sa no first and foremost exercise there and no aka no wa so no pa who baby I twetwe so utimi exercise ensuo ade wonum nsuo ye utimi ka say the whole day one glass hey so utimi num nsuo chen aduane yes me gina we num nsuo chen aduane na ma dwonso anso me dwonso so adwonso me num nsuo papa because me say I drink more water than food who me bag kita ma me de kwa adwuma ensuo ngwa so we be say ma bo me so boloni me ginger ne me bi me so manom Johnson no so me didi di Johnson no ntan ne me se me di na me no so mo de a obi a ne oba Johnson sa nya kidney na work ye but your body is running healthy.
Thank you. Ensuo no make can want some because so bolone de mommy miss medropa I love it. But just so because sometimes too much of it we can end up with low sodium induced seizures and no making want some later. There are people that are overdoing it. And to me, a bit me STB so no and no if I can want some, but the usual should be at least 4 to 6 bottles per day, right? Or 4 to 8 bottles per day. And that bottle is 500. So if we did 2, so about 4 liters to about 8 liters per day would be good enough. Anything more than that, you're pushing it. Yeah. Kidney issues, yes. So no, contraindication. If you have kidney issues, you cannot over diuresis. You have fluid limited intake. And if you overdo it, you know you're going to put your heart and lungs into a problem. So you have to, I said, because you're doing dialysis every 3 times a week. Okay, let's get back to the patients. So Mr. Smith or Mr. Watson is here.
I think I would ask the patient if they're going through anything stressful in life and see what's going on in that respect.
Professors in the house. Wow, lovely.
Maybe says ultimate eda maybe an hour disturb and I want to mean that. So I'll ask about the sleeping pattern.
This is an excellent point as well because lack of sleep plays a major role in some of these problems. So obin timinda akwai say nipaduano me fancy oka engine no is so 24 hours. Me fancy we dey sister na ba sorry. And we heard the best sermon today was so good, right? What all these young so even for that 3 hours you spend inside here, no. So the same thing happens with nipaduano. When the sleep hormone is, when we sleep, your sleep hormone releases beautiful growth factors. And when nipaduano recuperates. Just say and woman nipaduano enya nane dane. Come. Oh. So It's wounded dia and cry. And then nurses, we are horrible at that. We should take our own medications, eh? And cry. I worked last night in ICU and I'm here this morning. So I haven't slept. I haven't slept since 7:15 yesterday. And my patients were so sick, I had no time for even break. And I'm standing here, like, doing this. So we are so horrible at our own medicine, isn't it? Oh, my goodness. But you know me, I'm so real. I'm not going to pretend. Okay? But cry. Pacho, how would you manage this patient again? Should we go on to see what we're going to do for the patient? And I drink for Martina. Mommy says, your baby said for comorbidities. So that means, multiple medical problems. So does this patient have diabetes, high blood pressure, asthma, thyroid problems, kidney problems, skin issues, you name it. Obesity. Obesity. We talk about the I just explained that. All right. Okay, so intervention. So, and I'm not into diet changes. Oh, there's something called dietary approaches to stop hypertension. Just say adriania ebetimia boy ama mujashia no so ate. I don't know about a few things. Say a diet low in sodium. Oh, we should make some time to talk about the way our body functions on a cellular level as Black people to help us understand some of these hypertensive crises. Medication will be used. I've had patients, they were given medication for high cholesterol because their levels were so abnormally high, and by no means, because I don't know a more dangerous question say, we'll talk about some of the side effects, but never a reason not to take our medication.
Side effects, no, especially memano. And Crawford, who say BP medication, ekuma dia no nti bebre ejanum. For obi wa okro betumi aka se obenum BP aduro na ade na ewudi ono anwu. Nti bebre eja aduro no nom.
Asempa na okanesa no. Asempa no kan erectile is called erectile dysfunction. Asempa no kanesa no sebi preduasa. Right? So would you rather worry about little coffee not working than your own health? I had this conversation with my dad, with my own father, papa. And I said, Daddy, you need to be taking your medications. I use this to teach all the time. I said, Kosia, I didn't dare. So yeah, Miss Daddy, you need to take your medications. But these boys, they don't listen. Do they? Oh,
I read some woman says, so why no BP a drone? For week here, your instances be bra or no BP medication where Janum. Germany guy be or social media, some Martin Dia. Strong nature say, and Janum, no, that dark road here, a can sure. Sisi awu. More munim the store, ne year no own roof 40 years. Mem fan shankom, and chebe more anyone ya better than a year now. Into sa woo bema what ya would see me na who could this a drone so was it? Why? When you were 37 years, and you know what fans are near 35. Nanu kune wejano. A madu drosana or Becca say, oh, who don't you own walibium? Into memano, sir, BP medication, it goes against us. But another be a mechanic say.
But we should do a program for them because there are ways to fix the erectile dysfunction. The most simplest worries that can be fixed. And you know, we'll say that for another time. But trust me, your chiwale wale uchi bang bang is not important than your health. Honestly, I was some modimonito from Kakra. It is scary.
That BP a drone. I want me sad and a killing sad in swim free. And I want me on. Okay. Another one at the end, no more can. Coffee no more can. I want me and I do be answering one more. That BP don't a dorsal. A dorsal, dear, no more different one. Okay. Another thing I'm person to say. Don't walk a restaurant. Still out me do pay with me pay. Okay. Very good.
All right. And to know BP unim. Yeah, I was saying I discuss about blood pressure and its side effects. Medications and its side effects. And then ways that which a bit to me as support to a healthy lifestyle while still taking your medications. And also a different topic. Okay. So the whole idea is that with this particular patient with 6 months, there is a goal that we want to achieve. The blood pressure, we want to bring it down. It's Marshall and cholesterol level was 4.51. And with dietary support, we're able to bring it down to 3.1. The blood pressure, you're gentle, slow. You're too fast, because when you reduce it too fast now, you can also make them stroke. And within 6 months, we want to decrease it to about maybe 20 less than where it was before. Most times, people want to do it too fast, but it can be so lethal. You can make the person actually become sick and get a stroke. So we know kakra. Yeah? Kakra. Ebeye, yaminti. Now wait there, me pese yankase kofie, yedwane papa bia. Me de me krom me free Ghana. Me krom so de yedwane so de yedwane kama. Eno an yedi wo fie, Yankopon adaroma. Na wo hwe yedwane pa yedi e wo se Ghana fo a, utimu na kayare pa de, nyame wambo bia mayen. Now so no abroche denti. They say you call a little bit extra. Ain't no anopa kwanya otibi na de nkatie kakra gum. Nkatie no odutwa banana kakra gum. So the oats is high fiber. The peanuts are an excellent source of protein and omega-3s as well. And then the potassium, you kind of say banana no, a excellent source of potassium, carrying a fruit. One banana, check this out. One banana, kwadubako, a day is enough to bring your blood pressure down by 10 milligrams per mercury within at least about 3 months to 6 months. I'm telling you, a high rich in potassium. One banana daily, is enough to do that. And apples, they're the same way. They work very nice. Into banana na, the banana also has rich fiber in there. I didn't say you want some. You can be a friend of say cholesterol. Now, say the beya sa LDL no, ain't so much in our body no. We have to find a way a bit to me, a bit to me at say. Now, the way na simple to me at no, ewo how I be di onipedremu no. Patronyi nenya anti. Because these are what we call healthy fats. The protein is a healthy fat. Anna, I have a bit of a problem because sometimes when we teach, we don't teach properly. We never say stop eating your foods. We say eat everything in moderation. Whoever is teaching you to eat and cut food out is very dangerous. People are coming with low sugar now interest your muscle because what says here so uncle lose weight and just wakati bibia off. Just a sugar crowd on building. But sugar is not the problem here because every food we eat becomes glucose. Every food you eat, the end product is glucose. The only thing with your fats, that are just fat-based, the end product is otherwise ketones. Okay? So the body cannot function with ketones. When you eat protein, the end product is ammonium. Your body cannot function with those ammonium. The only functionality when it comes to energy levels is your glucose. Becomes that. However, when the balance becomes too much, sebi, also be one man, the numian dekakra. I'm a foodie. I love food. And food is medicine. I'm not even going to pretend. I love food. But I've never, I love food, so I love to cook. But I never deprive myself from eating what I want. I make sure I eat everything in moderation, except for so many things because of the way that I grew up, right? But you didn't say a very, very good point. No, it's not about limits, it's about moderation. Are we all in understanding? Because if not, you're going to develop other problems. If you keep depriving yourself from carbs and you keep eating so much protein, you're going to end up with kidney problems. There's a lot of, am I right? There's a lot of people coming in with a lot of kidney issues, hyperprotein diets. They're all having kidney failures. So you cannot just or say it was a garden. It has everything there. Everything that God has made is meant to be edible. However, not everything that He's made is also edible. So we have to be very, very mindful, because also plants beyond are poisonous. And some plants are very healthy. And some plants are poisonous, but it can be used to become good. And everything that He's made is supposed to be of good use. It's my breakfast, no. Now, you call lunch, consumer stew. And I said, someone who the dietary inclusion, no, cholesterol lowering capacity, proteins, the oats, and all that. And so we are 3 meals a day, assumably, if you're doing that. When you're consuming stew with brown rice. Brown rice, what's that mean when you Jasmine also, yeah. Say, Obama consuming a dosso. I'm not even going to pretend. And imagine the queen be by children of Mr. Mami Okuye. And your money. Oh, I know a friend of Conaghan, a woman with the crab, but say every day brown rice. Come on, people. Okay. So contumely, B12, folate. B12, folate. Excellent source of antioxidants. Sa antioxidants here can want some no. Eye adibia se nipadwene mu honhona e mane kofom. Also we talk about the inflammatory response when you have too much of the cholesterol. To would you be saying now it reduces that inflammation no. Oh, consumer it carries rich antioxidants. And no be to say any colorful food, red peppers, we call them capsicum. So the red peppers, the green, the yellow, cantaloupes, all of these colorful fruits have rich supplies of antioxidants. It could be strawberries, it could be oranges, all of these colorful foods that you see. Sadly, we see a woman in Pedriano. It responds very, very good for when it comes to you being sick, and I say it protects you against an illness. And then cocoyam leaves, and I can continue cocoyam leaves now. So the antioxidants. The rice is a beautiful, nice grain, high fiber. If it's brown, if it's white, it's refined carbohydrates. But you eat that in moderation. Eh? Is bleached? Is bleached? Oh, I didn't know they can bleach rice. Are they using bleach on our field? Yeah, it is the same thing. But even so, I mean, it's been decades and decades and decades. One of the longest longevity population is the Asians. They've been eating this white rice. So I don't see any problem with, I would say let's eat in moderation. Yeah. I am so cautious when I'm chatting. I say, I'm so careful because when you're careful, because cutting the crack, I say, it's not true. We need scientific facts to back it up. To be someone moderation. The lean sources of ebia wonya tilapia bia na chicken bia wayi hu sade ne sa ne ma no eno so boa what dey stew na. Okay, auntie, for dinner when you be to say tilapia, oh, beautiful omega-3 fatty acids. Oh, I love tilapia. I love tilapia fried. I love it baked. I love it steamed. I love tilapia. It's my favorite fish on earth. Now, let me tell you, why do you guys like snapper? It's so chewy. The boss day. Already, tilapia don't sell the mekugu. Now when you're quick a crab and a boom, you're good to go. It's wasted with tilapia, but now ebia. As an example, Daddy, this is an example. A bit may fufu, a bit may banku. Oh, we'll come to that. We'll come to that. There is actually. And me papa say, me papa mpamcho ni diemu. Me papa say, aduane no so we say no, entimi nhye ma ye nda ye. Enti no, den na nye good choice. Ye pe swallow. Ye pe swallow. Ye pe den kwa gina ho. Ba enkwa no so no, se woni osa no ma ko kratwam. Me ko krati ye duro. Peppers. Okay. All right. Now, the whole idea of this is balance. Balance. And so let's talk about some of snacks no. Atadre. Some of atadre. Tiger nuts. Edro kese. Kaneshi market. Kaneshi market. Black pressure. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. That yeah.
This
No. Any other thoughts? I dream you want me to me at Shamayana. Yeah.
Me, my dream, so person eat healthier. Oko grocery store. Grocery store no, ye wo nyankopon grocery line. And ye wo, yes. Ye wo nyankopon ne grocery line. And ye wo, yenya nimdia nyame de amayen. Ya ya gu boxes mu kan mu tin mu foil mu paper mu. Enti wudi kan kwa nyankopon grocery ho. Now what who vegetables all very sister ne kind was it red pepper, yellow pepper, colors food no. When you kura huna na ma when I fine. What if you na untimi pia? I say when you have flowers, colors in your home. So your eyes see those things and your eyes become healthy. Enti nyankopon grocery me kwa e ho na me ko. Straight to vegetables no me say sa carrots no ne me pa wia. Ansana meka sa me nko rice. I'm saying that I mean to me no beans, but to the book cans in the moon. And to another year cross it and grains in nuts. Yeah. I know that all. And as a be our person, I talk it to Webby, open number and number Yammy and no boy, I am less. And sees you suddenly with Namno. And Namno saw Bahua, and I saw Bachia. Bibia in moderation, less. I dare see a winning more. Was it the leaves? Our meat. And no salad, and no say. Ya san la je mu ate no dodo te mo kakra bi na beans enam ye so yi mienu ba ko won se na city enti ano no na ya wura na kire imbalance onem te imbalance yankopon sa na aka na enti yankopon so aka se ye ni di ya won ha yen won se de won ha yen enti me grocery me ye na oba me fie sesi a na de na manu nyame grocery sin nyama nko a and nyame grocery ne boy nya dene beans ya beans ya de no adua ya mama me be ya wache o ba nya boy nya dene na hwe de ya gu box mu any nut ni seed wo so ba wi ya abro nya abrofo de en na ya nyina na ye de.
Thank you. Abacho me ba.
Bacho, meso kakra me ka wo cholesterol no. Me say enuane no. Ebomu no ye noa. O say noa ne sa na emu ensuo na we na ye de oye no kakra olive oil no. And the cragu. Doctor been a chiremi. And to me, go problem was there, you know. It is an or chiremi. Me and sana, a boy.
Percho, Edamu in a said that is super soap or did be kind huntino. Yen Siena.
Any question? You say, don't
ask now.
And we are not I'm perceiving me. The attention say, you know, Adrian come on pass buyer full body and in your memory.
Entino ye beba ni nyina mu. Mommy running through a bit quickly na yen twa eso. You know, there are people that live in what we call the blue zones. Almost level about 100 years and over. These guys are not vegetarians. Just so you know, okay? They are not. Although Loma Linda is considered as one of the blue zone areas as well. They attribute that to the way of life and also much more plant-based is not a reason why they are longevity. Longevity actually is the people that are, living so long. It's not just plant-based. They have moderation. They eat everything. However, Loma Linda, so I think that with the article that I had come across, is one of those areas that's the way they eat as well, right? But majority of the people that are outside of that place that live long they eat meat. I just want you guys to know. It's about moderation. So I don't want us to become, because my grandfather, as you know, Pastor 4 was even like a vegetarian. At some point, as he was getting older, he started eating meat because it was not good for his health. So it depends on the individual people. Okay? It depends on the individual people. So be very, very mindful, because a vegan diet can also pose a lot of challenges. Okay, with heart problems, cardiomyopathy, and a lot of things as well. But let's continue. Okay, so cooking tips, you can, say, using the right kinds of seasoning. I'm going to just skip this and go over. Maybe let me talk about a bit of medication use with cholesterol. It's more high cholesterol. I can say, no, we have different kinds of adro. We have statins, and then we have different classifications. Now, adro we say no. Usually no almost side effects no. So Osha we say ebia number 2. Number ya umre. Sometimes ebia will liver enzyme no. Yeah, blood worker ebia be was stroke akra. And I say sometimes it's very, very rare. But with you take about maybe 10 patients, you have that odd one patient that sometimes may have this sugar increase. It's not everybody. Okay? And so no, we are not saying the cholesterol medication causes diabetes. We never said that. But we're saying is that sometimes, rarely, it's never a reason, though, to not take your medication. Because we have ways that, if Freebie said, beneficence, adieno ebekuno, a dangerous thing, say, your discomfort of, I'm not feeling good about this medication. You're going to die regardless. So are you going to wait till you have a heart attack and you can have a chance to talk to God? God has given us discernment. So this is Canada, so be more you can get a second opinion. But if you're the doubtful patient who is always looking for second opinions, they end up being very, very sick. Because most of us, approach a patient differently. Right? And I was so very, very mindful of some of these things. And keep those things in mind. In drawing be the whole idea is say, blockade enzyme na bad cholesterol and cholesterol, so that balance. It is so high, say, dietary recommendation is not the best. Level no. Yeah, it was true, but and so bad. Until people bet me Nancy Kakra, Tumpon bet me the DA, and they can correct it, no problem. But it is so high. You have to take that caution, and the medication is not for life. Whatever we give you, that's why Sebi Obinya diagnosis as a presenting problem, but maybe 6 months later, that patient may not have that cholesterol increase, so they will have a past medical history of high cholesterol. But at the moment, that has been resolved, right? And keep those things in mind. And it's just a few of the examples that I wanted to show you, but let's get into the teaching aspect. Okay, so blood pressure medications. Now I wanted to talk about that. So some of the blood pressure medications, they may sometimes increase the cholesterol levels. Once again, I want to make sure certain. The blood pressure is going to kill you anyways. Oh, please God, I didn't mean to say that. It's going to destroy your heart. So don't say I'm not going to take my medication because it's going to make my cholesterol go up. I'm saying that with caution, because you're going to see somebody moving from here and say, my blood pressure medication, high cholesterol. I never said that. You're going to have a lethal outcome, which is that we don't want that. Most of the times, balance and your mind. Sometimes we'll put you on a cholesterol medication if we can't manage it dietary wise. So the won't run into that problem. Adro is never a reason to not take another adro. So the erectile dysfunction with the high blood pressure, I think, would be a great teaching for us to have with the church, because it's killing a lot of black men, right? Yeah, because small coffee is not working, so it's causing a lot of problem. So, okay. So before we go on to this page, so Machoka Crow, Obebetimi aboa me ache ma de kakra. Kosua edie. Eyese ebedi cholesterol, eyese ebedi kosua na se kosua nyema ye nipadua no. Be se me hu ma adwen kakra. Asanye.
It's good to eat, but everything should be eaten in moderation.
Nathaniel say it should be in moderation. She say, aha, okay, and so we'll come to that. Yeah. But okay. Enti no kosua enyi na gidi se kosua ya na se kosua nye.
Sene doctors for no bika no yoke no enye mayen. Nti se ye cardia cholesterol. My cholesterol no go high. Nti se cardia the only thing is white in there wait me as much as you want. But yellow in there it increase your cholesterol. I don't know how true it is, but that's what I've heard.
That you call class when you're 100%. Or say, I don't know how the truth is, but that's what I've heard. It's an excellent student, okay? And you know that you are chenadri. Mbam cho bit me chenadri kakra about kusuya se eya na se enye. Okay. All right. Nampacho me person who ma drink okay. I'm not me person me who ma drink challenge no. The person can be out there can. Why? Next year one day. I'm a
Pacho kusia eye. Na wunyini dru mfie so a ni mo kwase udi ni bebre. Na wudi kura na enam se ayi ne cholesterol no wo high.
maybe I'll come to you.
Usiano mpacho the Martin said the ano but the achie no de omusinya kra.
I have some great students in this place. Okay. And to Kosiano say, ya dwen tete. Obisi eye, obisi enye, obisi ehone ho.
Okay, Kosia de Mercian wa de kakra ni say week no. Ubetimi adi Kosia 2 per week. But then say abro so bebre. The Mercian wa de ni de mati every marking can free books bebre mu. And now health you for so me no makasa ma o ma kire bibi mu sa kire me. Nti o se Kosia what dia bro so aye 2 per week. Yeah.
All right. Me papa mama sutie kakra. And I will say very mindful. Okay. And I'm just gonna go to the slides. And to know announce so. Teswa. Aha. Yes, it's aswa. Umebwa. Announce so. Okay. Announce some say. Yes, say Kosia. Emma cholesterol mojemu. Ekostrupa. And see you quite so woody cry. Na. No crow mun say, why you ready mutie? Enemy de bremo. Kosia a very, very good. It actually has very minimal impacts on your blood cholesterol. Kosia is superfood. Most of the people that we talk about the blue zones is one of their main meals every day. There's no prescription, but once again, so obi ND protein. Nasa odi kosia kwa. Omo intake very different than obi odi enam plus kosia combined. So moderation, like Nathaniel was saying, would be very, very good, right? I eat eggs every day, every single day, right? But for me, I have my limits. I don't do more than 2 or 3 a day. No, maximum 1 or 2. But I eat eggs every day. It is superfood. It's amazing. So it has very, very limited impact. And as it says so. Yes, say, and then me pamucho ni diemu. Yes, say, be free a chrome, be sa pay. I had almost say avocado. Almost say enya cra and my mojano. I fancy so and my nipajano cra so yen some bebre. Ain't no. I no cra na no cray. Enya no cra cra. Avocado ebwa emma. Sa ahometie a cholesterol friend LDL no it's so crama. As a matter of fact, it's a recommended superfood. So it's an boy dino. Won't say okay, won't say pen for. The cheapest you can get is $5.99. It's not all right. Kosuana na Americano. Boiled eggs. Boiled eggs. However, if you want to fry them with olive oil, yeah, become want some a draw. Okay, so I'm done. So trans fats. Most people, say they want butter instead of okay, Sebi, butter any margarine. They see your wife, she knows everything. Okay, so one is plant-based, and which one is plant-based? And which one is the animal-based? Okay, so now you've answered your question. And so which one is better for us? Margarine. Margarine is better than butter because it's plant-based. It will, butter has a lot of trans fats. The bad one that will increase your LDL. And then this one is one that will keep you. Are we on board? Okay. Olive oil, coconut oil. Coconut oil is also no. Actually, too much high in saturated fat. Coconut oil is not too good. And kafadi and go. Kafadi and go. It's not bad. You can eat it, but in moderation, mommy. Don't stop eating it, but in moderation. Yeah, in moderation, mommy, because it increases your LDL. Increase bad cholesterol, no. Coconut. But olive oil. Most Italians, no one crampo. Say, almost minimum crow. A year drug a olive oil. Yeah. Okay. So, me pamocho nidiemu. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Na da ebisa about body bare ene body rich in vitamin B12, rich in iron, very very good. Bare any body rich dense carbohydrates. However, I will never tell you to stop eating those things, but in moderation. Okay? Starchy. Some of these foods are complex starch. Before na know what I said, some washa, udi yana a comsado. Because it's so complex starch. Nobody never fra. Margin recipe. Nobody never fra. I'm sure any questions? If not, thank you so much for your time.
Two questions for you. Dedi kai ose o mention say yakuma ya e kwan be na e fa so e be go si yakuma ya ana de atosu mi no o mention sodium. The sodium too much. Now, since the sodium is hyponatremia and also effect benewo.
Just 1 second reply because we're working with time. And yes, because we can continue this another time. And that is said, so sodium higher. But sodium ni mechano. So water diuresis. So don't also sometimes they have overload water intake. Ebema sodium no so ate. And na intrabit mesi will so make a chomono. I told you, do not go over drink that bottled waters because you can get into intra. The other piece no was Anania Casano. It depends on the individual and those things. Daddy, thank you so much. Okay, Daddy, no. If I say, Debbie says, unya heart pain, so the angina I was talking about. So that pain, it could be dull, it could be sharp, it could be stabbing, it could be whatever the pain description. It could be moving around, it could be localized. When you're getting that pain, it will go. Or say, you meet me, homie. These are red zone signs, okay? Unless they're not having a panic attack they are not overwhelmingly distressed or whatever the case is, please get yourself checked out right away. Once a day is bad habits to eat. Mommy, a different topic. Don't eat once a day because we are not rattlesnakes. We are supposed to be eating 3 meals with 3 snacks. The only person that eats once a day is like those rattlesnakes and the pythons. We are not. You're going to get sick. So we'll talk about those things, unless for religious reasons. But as a way of life, it can be. Remember, Bibia comes with its own. Yeah, that was it.
And I say, the radiasi say, or the abidus is a braha. When a bampacho, wait me in a casa with 3 brinty, Miss Rewa, aye, and yeshi, a brinty. The GDE say, Yame, only Pamcho, the Dewaha, Miss Repibri. Me Paucho, ye the branding she say, Nay, Juma, tea, Bomodia boy. Yame, any year dini ye, ewo ye Jumedia, and ne, or this edum ye. Dinya ya dear Ashin Yamian Munyam, war a damp and your fortune share, yes, say, young fire dofo, near Sra formra. Anyone more or more online, so or more shaying. So, any Jimwaka Amy share radian Munyam. Major my name near da, Yenuaba Ednasi, Addition or dear my. Addition to say, no, sometimes I won't fair more. Ya now often a trada, the minimum Trieska for professional development, and now say, and near my it say, ya, Yokusia. Nanina so, Yamiadumu or the Achain. Over 100 people. Demographic and penufo womb, adantemu womb, and a ne yashe ye vital sign by screening no. Meaning say at the right time no, it be a bepon ye bang one manable, ama mongunu. Na Brian say Breno, Mesram yen sorry. Ye bet to him 500 first stanza no. We are Masras open your Wilson. Now fe wab a bompaye. Or the ashin yamesa or now for fry ye come and the media be doing. Timbam Chomay, sorry.
Semu man katen near Mompai. I don't fall him a broom for, and you may my Cassia Dawasi. Yadawasi, or who are we in a Dietary? Yadawasi, piano pie about winning, but don't ya, Sarah. Unam, Pan would also a shying, and just like a sea near the mount. You are in the 8 year, you know. Yankas ye permanent to me fine yashi. No, so the one concon kind of wodia. Ever boy as a say su. Ama yet to me as so. Our brabo in emu. Yada Sabbath school, you may dear course so. Then we know Yadawasi. Yadawasi divine service, come and see. See Yaba who Christo, what transform our life. Yadawasi be brave. Your name wafna Edna so dia main ray. Erade. Ya sorry yemu, ya kasemu ya bibiemu no, te bibi anshe udie no yama. Imre ya se fani nyina ache. Me ya sre nyina ne se, obi mba wani mu nkɔ ne sapan. Nti me yamfa adom, me yamfa nhyira, me yamfa mobronu, yamfa mfiri hanko. Ya kwa hwe yentem, wo nyina ho ba na otwi, ho mba asɛm bi. Se wo pɛ, na adom nti usan de ebehia mu ha. E de ayeye, e de ntontom, eni die ni kabiama. Edawasi yamitwe diampo. Say imrezu waya so na wutie yen. O Jesus Christ di emunti. Amen.
aso panya ase ye nuanu omo bakery ha no bread kakra ebinim afa bi o gym ho emisre wo se onu obi eye neighbor na wo pese odi bi koya adoye a ebi wo ho se wa ho nsu hia bi a obetimi akwa akofa bi okwa kitchen side ho a eda mo nyina ase se bibi wo fom ha no mo a enayi a mo ma ye nkle nyame enka ye nyina ye ho Miss